Hi guys, welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm E.
I'm Dee.
And today we're going to continue our discussion about, everything that's going on with King Charles, um, Prince William, Prince Harry. So it's kind of basically a continuation of our other video or our series of videos that we've had on our channel. The latest one was, King Charles being diagnosed with cancer, succession orders and things like that for our non-British followers. So, obviously everything is still developing. We don't know what form of cancer he has. But today's topic is from an article from AP News, and we're kind of going to talk about Prince Harry. As we know, Prince Harry found out, went to go see his dad, but he quickly came back to the States. And during his visit, there was no reconciliation with William, or it wasn't even brought up. So we're going to read the article, of course, have our discussions. Guys, be nice, This is a lovely community we have. We're just providing you our opinions. Obviously, I could say, we're pretty distraught at the news about King Charles. And, we're not particularly happy that Prince William and Prince Harry are, in this current space. So here we go.
Okay, so again, from AP News, Prince Harry flew more than 5,000 miles, or 8,000 kilometers, to see his father after King Charles III was diagnosed with cancer. But Harry did not see his estranged brother, William, during a visit that lasted scarcely 24 hours. The royal brothers were made emotionally and physically an ocean apart. British media published photos of Harry at Heathrow Airport on Wednesday afternoon, just a day after he arrived at the same airport on a flight from Los Angeles. He appeared headed back to life in California after a UK visit in which he spent less than an hour with his father at Clarence House, the King's London home. Any time between the brothers would typically be confirmed by palace officials. William, meanwhile, returned to public dates for the first time, or public duties, for the first time since his wife Kate was admitted to a London hospital on January 16th for abdominal surgery. She spent almost 2 weeks at the private London clinic and is recovering at home. William handed out medals to notables and local heroes at a Windsor Castle ceremony and investiture in the morning, and was due to attend a charity dinner on Wednesday evening for London's air ambulance service, which, side note, Tom Cruise attended. Images from the day are more grist for the popular British media tropes, dutiful William, flyaway Harry. Behind the simplistic summary are two royal brothers bonded in bereavement by the death of their mother, Princess Diana, when William was 15 and Harry was 12, whose paths have diverged dramatically. While William, the heir, was destined from birth to be king, Harry, who was fifth in line to the throne behind his brother and William's three children, has often appeared to struggle with the more ambiguous role of spare. He chose Spare as the title of his 2023 memoir, which recounted a lifetime of sibling grievances, from William getting the bigger bedroom at Balmoral Castle to a ferocious argument in which Harry claims William ripped his necklace and knocked him down onto a dog bowl. In the book, Harry alleged that the British media treated him and his wife Meghan, also known as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, as villains compared with virtuous William and Kate, and accused palace officials of lying to protect the elder brother. The Sussexes cited the media's racist treatment of Meghan, who is biracial, and lack of support from the palace as reasons for their 2020 decision in 2020 to quit royal duties and move to the U.S. In an explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2021, the couple portrayed royal life as indifferent to Meghan's mental, or the royal family as indifferent to Meghan's mental health struggles, and suggested an unnamed family member had made a racist comment to Harry before the birth of their son, Archie. Harry described his relationship with William as space at the moment. The brothers' interactions since then have been formal and brief. They were seen temporarily putting their fraught relationship aside to attend the funeral of their grandfather, Prince Philip, at Windsor Castle in 2021. The pair did not walk side by side behind Philip's coffin, but were pictured chatting and walking together after the service. In September 2022, the brothers walked side by side behind the coffin of their grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, before she lay in state. William later said it had evoked memories of doing the same at Princess Diana's funeral in 1997. Harry traveled to the UK for his father's coronation ceremony in Westminster Abbey in May. He was assigned to sit 2 rows behind his brother. Arrived at the Abbey alone and left alone. The brothers were not seen speaking or even acknowledging each other. Harry's campaign to tame Britain's tabloid press has also placed him at odds with his relatives. He broke from the royal family tradition of not engaging in litigation by filing several lawsuits against the news media for hacking his phone and other privacy violations. Harry claimed in the court filings that Charles had directed palace staff to order him to drop his litigation because it was bad for the family. He also said William had secretly settled his own hacking claims against Rupert Murdoch's publication for a huge sum of money in 2020. In Spare, Harry claims that their father implored them after Philip's funeral, "Please, boys, don't make my final years a misery."
Mhm.
Royal biographer Sally Bedell Smith said rifts within the royal family would take more than a single visit to heal. "I don't think we should engage in too much magical thinking about this," author said Bedell Smith, author of Prince Charles' Passions and Paradoxes of an Improbable Life. There are some very, very deep hurts from Harry that Harry has inflicted on the family, she said. But she added, King Charles, by nature, he wants to heal not only the world, but I think his impulse would be to try and heal the family. So it's the article from AP News. What do we
Hmm.
think?
Putting them aside, I know this article is about them, but putting them aside, um, obviously we don't know King Charles's, what kind of cancer he has, what stages, things like that. But, this is deductive reasoning. If Harry was there for 24 hours, I'm inclined to think that maybe they caught it really early and, it's something that's treatable, they already have plans in place. And, I think I would hope that he wouldn't leave and it's something more serious,
Right,
you know. I am upset that he did stay for a day. I'm like, that's your dad. That's the only dad you got, you know.
right,
That's the dad you chose, that's the dad you got, so just for him being there a day instead of a few days. And granted, I know that relationships are strained and things like that, but I would just think that all that should be pushed aside because this is what's important right now is the health of your dad, the current king, whichever way you want to look at it. Talking about Prince William and Prince Harry, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know how they're going to fix it. I hope that they would at least have a conversation this time around. I think this is the best time, you know, to bring the family together, to have a united front. Let's think about it in a business perspective right now, in a nice little box. This will be great PR for the royal family. It's like, hey, we've reconciled, we're a united front, we're supporting King Charles. We've put our differences aside. Let's move forward. I think, it heals a nation, it
yeah,
heals the world. I'm sure his dad will feel much better knowing that, his kids are talking, his kids are talking to each other, so I think from a dad wanting to see his kids reconcile would have been nice. I think for the world to see them reconciled, it would have been nice. I think for public image, business, the monarchy, the realm, the establishment, I think it would have been great. I'm just not sure why they can't seem to move forward with things.
oh man, that's loaded.
I know.
I, the fact that Harry was there for a short period of time, I do think that it's indicative that maybe things are a little better for King Charles. I think most of us would have loved to seen him stay longer to spend more time with his father.
Hmm.
But as we know, the way in which that particular family handles things is different. The way
Hmm.
in which British people, I think in general, handle things is different, right? It's a different culture. And um and maybe that's just the way that like they are,
Maybe.
and that's seen as enough maybe. And I do want to point out, because we've had various and varying comments on the fact that we're uninformed about British culture and whatnot. We're Latina AF. I'm not even wearing my shirt yet, but I'm gonna find that shirt and I'm gonna wear it. Like, we're Latinas. We grew up in a different sort of culture. For us, the moment something is wrong with one of us, it's like on and popping. We're there. What do you need? What do we have to do? And we're there for days, or we're there as long as you let us till you kick us out. It's a
Push
different
our
culture.
beef aside. We're no
Yep,
longer arguing. It's like everything is a-okay, which might not be healthy, guys, mind you.
it
But
might not.
we're also American,
Right.
so we also
Yeah.
have those things. We're not claiming to be, you know, British know-it-alls and things like
Right.
that. We're just, providing our opinions, and we do read these articles. So it's based on this particular article and based on all the things that we know so far.
Yeah, and I highlight all that because it is a different culture. And we're not claiming to be any kind of an expert on anything related to British culture, related to the royal family. Like he said, we are reading these things. We've also learned things throughout the years because, as many other people around the world who aren't British, we've watched from afar. We've gotten this information from afar. But again, the way that we handle things, the way that we process things is very different.
Mhm.
So, because of the difference in culture, what may seem odd to us may be normal to them, right? So, because we see this a little strange that Harry was only there for a day, it might be normal to them, right? Or it might be not too outlandish for them. As far as the situation with William and Harry, I think it would be a little bit gullible to think there'd be any kind of reconciliation within the next few days or even the next few months. I think I think there should be a difference, right? Put things aside temporarily because it is important to be a united front for your father.
Mhm.
And it's unfortunate that one of the things he said to them was, "Don't make my last years miserable." That is pretty sad,
Yeah.
especially considering that that's what they're doing. I mean, hopefully these aren't his last years, but that's what they're doing right now is making things difficult for him. And when you are convalescing, when someone is sick, someone has something as bad as cancer, and hopefully it was caught early on, but even still, that's a scary thought. And
Mhm.
more so scary for King Charles himself. What he needs is support. What he needs is his family. And the brothers should, at the very least, be mature enough to put this aside. I'm not saying to reconcile, I'm not saying to be the best of friends, but just to put things to the side, a moratorium, if you will, on
Mhm.
their differences to support their dad, to be united for their dad. And then, if that can lead to a reconciliation, great. If it doesn't, y'all go back to your corners. But for now, I think that would be the better thing, to
Mhm.
show up for your dad, to be there for your dad. That is the only parent you have left. And it's also unfortunate, as the article highlighted, they were trauma bonded. Aside from the fact that they're siblings, they were also trauma bonded by the death of their mother. And now they're having to contend with an older senior father that has such a scary diagnosis. And again, it's another trauma, but in this particular case, they're not bonded over it. And
Mhm.
again, I don't know if I maybe said this in the past video, on the series that we've been doing, but this is the time when you would need your sibling to lean on them.
Mhm.
Let's not pretend like this is something easy or this is something you can just get by on your own. Luckily for both of them, they each have their own families, but
Yeah.
it's still different. That's still your sibling. This would
Mhm.
be the right time to have that sort of support as well. And I know that, like, for me personally, I've been critical of William in the past, but he does have a lot on his plate right now. because not only is he taking care of his wife, who is recovering from surgery and has a very long recovery ahead of her, but he's also taking care of his children. He has to step up for the king and do more royal duties, although it's been commented on different articles that he might be taking on some additional duties, might not, because of the fact that he's taking care of Kate. So, but he has a lot on his plate. You have to think about these are regular people. They may be royals, but at the end of the day, deep down, they're regular people.
Yeah.
Imagine the mental toll that all this is taking on in particular William. He's got to be, dealing with a lot on his plate. It's got to be doing something to him in many ways, emotionally, mentally, obviously physically it's draining.
Hmm.
So I do feel bad for him in this sense. But as far as Harry, there are signs, or there have been signs, and even things that have been reported where he's tried to kind of extend an olive branch, or kind of try to maybe work something out with his brother, and his brother has not really wanted to. And when it comes to those kind of matters, I mean, you have to be able to just give people their time and space to heal and deal. And obviously, they have a lot that they would need to work through. I just don't think that the time is now, in
Hmm.
particular, to really get to the bottom of it, because the important thing is Charles. And that's really what the focus should be on. You guys can figure out your issues at a later date, but right
Hmm.
now, the focus should be on their dad.
I'm just wondering though, in a utopian world, who would reach out first? As in, okay, Prince William is the older brother. Harry, let's put things on aside for right now, Prince Harry. Let's put things, um, our differences aside, and let's
Yeah.
be together for Dad. Or should it be Prince Harry? Because I'm more of the against Prince Harry of it all. I've done all these things that have, damaged the name, the reputation. I've shown all our dirty laundry basically to the world. Should Prince Harry be reaching out to William and being like, "Hey, let's be a united front. Let's put things aside." And also, I know you're dealing with 10,000 things. Let me help. Like what like who is likely to reach out first? Who should reach out first? You know, to just have this like common ground. Let's be united. Let's make sure that is happy, that is okay, that we're supporting him the best that we can. How can I help you kind of thing.
I think in this instance, I think it should be Harry to reach out, because
Ditto.
again, William is the one that has the most on his plate right now.
Hmm.
And Harry knows the extent of what's all on William's plate, because he was a part of royal life for the longest. So he has an idea of what it is William may be going through. Therefore, it should be on his end, the matter of reaching out, the matter of maybe trying to help, or whatnot. And obviously, William doesn't have to accept any of it, but I think it could be an innocent, or not necessarily innocent, but like a genuine enough gesture to be able to say, okay, for right now, just like they did when Queen Elizabeth passed away and they did the walkabout together. For right now, put a stop to this mess, because it was interesting when that walkabout happened. It's as if the media world imploded. They were like, oh my God, it's the Fab Four again. And it was just this
Oh
big
yeah.
old thing. People were like loving it. Like
Hmm.
people were loving it. And the thing is, they are better together, because in the media, because in the people's minds, that's all we've ever known has been Harry and William, William and Harry. And obviously now Kate, because Kate has been with William for over a decade, I think. So obviously there's been a lot of issues, and I think both sides should be accountable for the issues. But for the moment, for the time being, like you mentioned earlier, it would be such a great PR boost. It would be so helpful.
That is a
And
bummer, guys. But I'm just saying,
right,
some
right.
people on the in the back scene, they're thinking strategic. So me
And
as
you
a
don't
strategist,
Charles being the king, he's probably also thinking the strategy, because that is what you need, especially right now that the two senior working royal members are down. This is when you would need that kind of PR. This is when you would need that kind of, positive spin, positive attention. And
yeah,
that's why it's like, it's so frustrating, because I think everybody can kind of see this would be the time to kind of put things aside and just get through to get to the other side. And obviously we hope that this is something that King Charles will get through fairly quickly and that he'll come back healthy. But this is also kind of like a test for William, because he has to do a lot. And I don't know if he will, right? Because of the fact that he's also taking care of Kate. And the last thing I think I'll mention, because you brought up a point in our previous video about William putting duty over things just as Queen Elizabeth did. But right now, he's putting family over duty, which is, it is strange, because that's something that we know of the monarchy, the royal family hasn't normally done. But
mhm,
he's putting his family above duty, and he's not really receiving any negative media attention for it. So that's something that to me like always goes back to the same thing, because here was Harry trying to put his family above duty, and they clowned him for it. They dragged him for it, but nobody's saying anything about William doing that, because right now, essentially, like, who is the, I guess, most senior person out there? Camilla. Camilla has apparently stepped up and done multiple engagements. Obviously, we've talked about at length how Princess Anne gets the job done, and Prince Edward has also, I believe, was going to be taking on more things. So, like, overall, it's so, for me it feels very conflicting, because I feel really bad for William, and I do believe that he's got so much on his plate, and it's so crazy what he's got to go through. But on the flip side, this is what he was made for. Where is he?
prep for, yeah.
Yeah. He
Hmm.
came back to royal duties for one day, and he's back to taking care of Kate. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with taking care of your spouse, but this is the job. This is what you were made for. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm conflicted, because it's like I feel bad, but bro, where are you? Because this is when you have to be the face. This is when you have to embody the monarch in essence, while the public isn't seeing King Charles. One of the
Yeah,
things that Queen Elizabeth said for many years is that I have to be seen to be believed. And Charles is going to be obviously recovering and doing treatment and everything. We don't know when we'll see him next. So if William's also out of the picture, what are what is happening, right? Like, where is the face of the royal family in essence?
which leads me to believe, and I think, it's frustrating for a lot of us. We don't know what's going on with Kate. If he has
Yeah,
to, if he resumed for a day to be a part of this event and he's going back to his family, I'm thinking it was something serious that happened with Kate that,
yeah,
requires his undivided attention or split
right,
attention. It seems more undivided, in my eyes.
right, right.
Because, you know, if she's recovering, if everything is okay, him assuming not, I don't want to say assuming his duties, but him stepping up more or stepping up for his dad, I don't think it should be a problem.
Right.
So I would like to know the gravity of that situation just as a curious individual at this point. And I
Yeah.
think it's just, since King Charles has been so forthcoming with his health woes or health issues. And then we don't know anything about Kate. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But also, I think, what you said about Prince Harry and Prince William being trauma bonded. I think the whole world was trauma bonded when
Yeah.
Princess Diana passed away. We were kids when it happened. I think it still is very memorable. It's still
Yeah.
ingrained in my mind till this day because,
Mhm.
we used to follow her. America
Yeah.
loves her, still loves her. So, when we saw the Fab Four together, it's like, hey, we were trauma bonded with them. It's like, oh, everything is all good. They're back together. It's like we're all part of the family now.
Uh,
So I guess it would be nice in a happy world that they all just get along and sing a song. But, but obviously that's going to take some time, of course.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. It's gonna be a while.
But Kate, what is going on with you, girl? We got to know so we can understand why
Oh,
Prince William is making the decisions that he's making.
right.
Again, we're not saying abandon your spouse
Right.
or just lean one way and not the other, but it's just I think we're trying to understand and piece things together and, you know, hope for the
Right.
best for everyone at this point.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
guys, that concludes today's video. Please let us know what you think. I already know you are because y'all can say a lot. We can't even keep up. I'm like, have you seen this comment? That's how we are in the mornings. But if you have updated information, please let us know in the comments. Of course, we're going to research it. This is a continuing story because we're invested. We want to
Yeah.
know what's going on. We want to be informed. So if you guys have information that we don't know yet or we misspoke about something, let us know. We'll address it in the next video. But if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're trying to grow our community so your friends can be our friends and we can all be friends. We also have social media, which Steve will tell you about.
We're on Instagram and TikTok at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys like, follow, share, and comment. We enjoy interacting with y'all.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.